Good night, detective. You may be right. Let's keep our eyes open. Maybe you can tell me what you do know to help me narrow it down a bit. Are you sure? Who could say it's not true? If you really don't remember anything, how would you know? Okay, see it as competition, but don't expect me to. It's a good thing you found that gun. I can see why they sent you now. I'm really not sure about this turn of events. I may have preferred the mutton chops. They sort of seem to cover up the... We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year. No, it's not a particularly mysterious case. You did well. In Elysium, behind our eyes, like all human beings, detective, the world is what it is. I'm glad to see you're stable. Keep it that way. Okay, and something happened in that brain? It all seems unreal, detective. In actuality, the pale is no more unreal than, say, water or death, or that we are stuck behind our eyes, between our own ears, talking. Is that secret enough for you? A tremendous evolutionary advantage, I'm sure. But perhaps we've had enough speculative biology for today? You must be joking. Although our pay does sometimes feel like a joke. I did not know murder investigations are supposed to be fun. My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby. No idea. Looks like he works for Wild Pines, the logistics company who owns and operates the harbor. I fear you're misinterpreting this situation. Possibly because there's a strike going on in the harbor. There's not much to do aside from drinking and sleeping. This is a broken man. He probably feels that he should have been able to protect the others somehow, and now he feels guilty for not dying with them, or instead of them. I'm not suggesting much. All I'm saying is, he lost everything. We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. He's right. You really have to sort out your money problems, starting tomorrow. I can't help you again. Some do take recompense, but only to survive. Good thing he didn't understand a word of your stupidity. Detective, we don't have to demonstrate anything. Let's just get back to the questions. I'm sure we can find a tape player. It's not a problem. I'm not your partner. This union is temporary. There have been complications. Have you tried using the key? I suspect that will work, but I didn't say anything. Yes, we have also completely failed, but that's okay. Yes, officer. 7 people are dead. It's not a success. Honestly, I think our investigation has not produced a single credible suspect. No need to be melodramatic. I'm listening. Interesting. That's used for diamorphine overdoses. Peptide, a euphemism for pharmaceutical amphetamine. Prescription speed. She certainly had her priorities straight when she was packing. No, there's nothing else. I just haven't gotten a lot of sleep these past few days. Could be the makings of a sniper's nest. I find that hard to believe, miss. What time did you make the call? Reporting crimes is confidential in Ravachol, miss. Are you saying that you were asked to tell us you were assaulted? You mean after they hanged him? So am I. Were you aware that he had also been shot, miss? I'm sorry, but we are not quite done here yet. We have more questions. Better to be thorough now than have to come back to this later. You do not need to know that. What you need is to ask normal police questions, like, do you feel guilty about what happened to him? Miss, excuse my colleague, he has recently suffered brain damage. Okay, we have our answer. It won't fit. We need a bigger fridge. Well, detective, it seems we've located your underground cell, which is just to say we should be prepared for any eventuality. Charmant. After you, detective. Well, judging by the color of his hair, I would say yes, it is. No, it really doesn't. This looks very hard to recover from. Can't you tell? It happens to exceptionally committed substance abusers. They fall asleep with their eyelids still open. Not a pretty sight. Let's see if anyone's home. He smells good, and that's weird. Thank you for sharing this wonderful opinion on human sexuality. Who knows, detective? It's a mystery. Wait, suddenly you are digging things? Something tells me these young men are not very experienced with law enforcement. No, detective. The only reading I've been doing is right here. Wow, a real intellectual, it sounds like. What is it they say about ties? That they're like kissing your sister, or in this case, I suppose, your partner? He's only saying that because he got the better of me, somehow. Detective, how should I know what questions you have about communism? What do you mean, like in a play? It seems this wasn't the break you were hoping for. The novelty dice maker also mentioned that she didn't hear any signs of a struggle. Very real trouble. I won't tell you how to do your job, but remember, this is an RCM matter. Make sure you weigh your next words carefully. I think we can drop the drummer angle. That was my bad. You're right. Let's talk this through. We understand this comes as a huge shock. I want you to know that me and my partner are here for you if you have any questions. Take your time, ma'am. If you only knew. The kids on the streets also call it Snow Day. That's all right. We've got plenty of adventures for one case. Did you mean there are electrical lights? The little castle? The reigning lord must have come upon some really tough times to let it sleep in such decrepitude. Can we maybe ask your twins about that place before we go? Would that be all right? I think I might. And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, something I was not present for. But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I have seen, in fact. I tried to, but I only got a blur. This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open, in Martinez, where Evrard and Edgar Clare have ears everywhere. You don't want to know. No. Good luck with your report. He's wounded. It's been a long week and he's handled an actual corpse. Riddles. Fits with the general ambiance here. I've noticed that, yes, and I must say I find it troubling. Right. The autopsy form is near the end. Mondial. Subgroup Occidental. As per your observation. Not an energetic start to an autopsy, I agree. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white. I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. Anyway. Can you get to it? We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars. We have the makings of a very small exit wound here. A non-calibre, rifled, some kind of brittle alloy, fractured on impact. It'll come to you sooner or later. At least he's safe here until then. Work on the case, tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. Okay, I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can take care of the rest. Then the world will turn away from you and leave you behind. Are you okay, officer? No? You will get your shit together. Give it half an hour. Get yourself together. Then come back and have another go. Someone could have cleaned the yard, but that's a question for the red hat thing. No, it's not, officer. Good. Can you read it to me? That doesn't sound like a serial number. Where's the structure and logic of a line of manufactured products? Well, no matter. We should run it anyway. I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford. You do understand the boots are steeped in cadaverine odor, don't you? I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin. We have good, well-pronounced discoloration here. Did we? I don't feel lucky. Good. The victim is of Occidental descent. Light brown hair, blue eyes. Honestly, I prefer a non-acrobatic solution to this. But what else can we do? We still need to get him down somehow. Someone else? You mean like the police? Okay, they do have the tools and the men. And since it looks like they put him there, all the detectives from all the precincts who experience extrasensory perception go to the remote viewers division. Their work is invaluable to the force. No, that ladder is not climbable, and I don't really see another good way up there. We might want to ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one, and he also has information. Or it may just be a coincidence. Either way, something to keep in mind. What else do you see? I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. It could even have been the employees of the failed R&D center down the coast, as their building was taken over by the revolutionaries. Nothing for us to do here. Let's move along. Do you remember how, when we met Measurehead and I said the next racist will be the really good one? This is that racist. So you do know something about it. The burning rhino is where they draw the line. Of course, more clever. I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water. Delinquents, my favorite. This place is much better for fieldwork in the summer, believe me. Did you know I don't like bad addict cops? Almost no one in the RCM does. Alcohol use has been declining in the under-16 bracket this past decade. I don't know. Are you sure? I could swear you're lying to me. I counted 20. I take it's less than that. Someone operating a workbench with a pedal? Like a joiner at the harbor. Or maybe a drummer? That's all? Interesting. Then one of them seems to be missing. Anything else out of the ordinary? So far so good. Only one thing missing. Don't beat yourself down. Neither can I. We'll have another look later. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it. Great. The little foray into the art world continues. Detective, may I remind you that Mrs. Messier is a professional negotiator. Had him down as mondial. Should change it to occidental. I advise you to be very selective with what information you choose to share. This may have consequences beyond our line of sight. Let's try not to get caught in the crossfire. Not this again. We can take a break if you're feeling unwell. This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer. Which is why we should be very, very wary of approaching it again. We could get more. We've got him talking. Yes. Clearly, this is a triumph. I'd say the vehicle has been here since last Saturday or Sunday. Let me think about it. Someone's made themselves a home. I don't know. I'm not a philosopher. I know. It was not easy to acquire. Not back there, but I've felt it since we came here. Yes, it all adds up. But this island, on the other hand. You think so? We would see them if they were here. Someone must have known about it, though. Maybe there's some secret to approaching it? I have no idea. I've never heard of a species like that. Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him. It looks like the insect had some kind of nest there. Look. Maybe it has left some proof. We are now just another pair of crackpots who did not take a picture of the giant cryptid. Maybe we'll get another chance. I think you should back away from the unstudied species now. Like a water strider. Only I've never seen anything like that in my life. The nervous system could be spread out like that, over the extremities, like a cuttlefish. You're just staring at it. No, it's gone for now, detective. Looks like he doesn't like to stay out in the open for long. In any case, I'll let you take it from here. I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month. You do know there's no need to officially document this information, right? Great. And here I thought we were finally going to the island. There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them. The 7 sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. We have already found the instigator. I'm not sure what else we could want from here. It's Dolores Day. The old woman was right. This is the DeLorean Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the Small Pinewood Church in some records. Death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. It's just a piece of clothing you've picked up. You do that, officer. You collect clothes sometimes. Unfortunately, I can confirm this. My partner has some decidedly outmoded views. I'm sure it's not that bad. At worst, he has an old RCM folder, and I very much doubt even that. If you ask me, he's only serving one of them thus far. You would not even believe. She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid. I've never witnessed a programmer work before. Maybe we should circle the building first and look for another way. The building has seen enough mistreatment. You probably don't have a pen? Here, you can keep this. I have another one. Are you really reading that, detective? You know, detective, there's something admirable about that, in its own way. All right, detective, your turn. It's been a long winter, long and cold. Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without the dial key. So it would seem. And was it all worth it? Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is, drapes it all over his machine. Good to know that we were right. Would have sucked to rip a man off for no reason at all. It's all right, don't worry about it. Remember, he wants to tell us, but he doesn't want to help us. It needs to look like we already have everything. We just need to get him back to the mainland. We actually did it. Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over. You're right. There won't be time to do that when the dominoes are falling. At the first sign of danger, they will shut the place down for good. I think she knows something about the mercenaries, maybe. And she won't be around if the situation explodes. You think we should finish running it now? Maybe you're right. It might not be as useful later. I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise. Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.